Hey there, welcome to the Fat Potato Podcast. This episode will be asking the question, who would win, vampires versus werewolves? Thoughts?
Interesting topic. I mean, like, I'm really not an expert in either of these two sort of mythical beings. Or even, we'd have to, like, decipher, like, which particular kind of vampire we're talking about. Like, old ones, new ones.
Can the werewolves control themselves when it's a full moon?
Oh, right. So, isn't like, are we talking about like, a controlled transformation, or is it literally like only on the full moon?
Because that seems a bit once a month. You're all powerful, and the rest of it is regular dude.
Sounds like something else. I might be familiar.
Okay. How about with? Okay, so if the werewolf could be on command, transform into a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the vampires, right? We're going to stick with can't go into sunlight.
Yep.
So the classic.
Yep.
Classical vampire.
Can turn into a bat.
All right, but can the werewolf think for itself when it's transformed?
Oh, or is it completely like beastly and just like?
Is
I
it
would say
like-
yeah, but maybe their like way of thinking gets a bit more like
Brutish, kind of savage.
I thought you said
Yeah.
British for a second.
Well, thank you very much, Humphrey.
One classy werewolf is.
Oh dear. I like to think maybe they probably like reject the cognitive nature. They probably become very primal, but they might still be somewhat in control.
Yeah, they still have their priorities.
Yeah, they might still be able to recognize who their friends and their foes are, but I think they would definitely be
more savage version
yes.
of
Primal.
like primal, yeah.
kind of like that Stargate episode. I don't know if you remember it, the one with like the planet with the light and the dark. Like the ones who were infected with the disease all became like primal people, and then the other side were like not affected. Do you remember that one? It's like,
Vaguely.
it's like a very, very early episode. It's kind of like that. And they literally just turn into Neanderthals, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least the mindset of a Neanderthal. That's neither really here nor there, though. I thought it was just an interesting reference.
Okay, well, I am going to go with werewolf.
You know,
'Cause
Why
you-
is
I mean,
we didn't really establish what else the vampires are capable of. I mean, like,
I
can
mean-
they even turn into a bat, or can they...
sure, why not?
Super speed, super strength.
Yeah, like the
Sucking
generic,
blood.
like Dracula kind of, yeah.
I was say, like, I'm not really like familiar with the myth itself. Do vampires actually do become stronger, faster than regular humans?
They are stronger, faster than regular humans.
To what degree, though? As in, like, we're not talking the Flash and Superman. We're talking like
Just superhuman.
yeah,
I mean,
just generally superhuman. They're not going to leap tall buildings in a
Sure.
single bound, but
why not?
why not? Okay, well,
Alright.
if you're going to push the limit that far for a vampire, well
Well,
then
they're putting restrictions on it. I've read like some vampire stuff, and
Yeah.
there was one where they like used their blood that they had drunk to like empower that. So if they had run out of blood, then
Okay.
they wouldn't be able to go as fast or be as strong. So
Are
they
we,
had to
are we
Fuel tank.
referring to that anime? There was an anime I watched about
No,
vampires and stuff. I forgot what it was called, but it definitely went down a very powerful vampire-y kind of route. I've forgotten the name, but it will come back to
Rosario
me.
versus Vampire.
No, it was a
That
relatively.
was just fan service on the stick.
Fuck, I can't remember that. Seraph of the End.
Oh!
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that anyway.
I haven't finished it, but like
Oh,
yeah,
it's
that one
like-
was definitely like vampires and trying to combat them as well, but they were like
Yeah.
super strong and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you can really like identify what kind of like strength the vampires are at, and then you'd have to kind of determine what kind of strength the werewolves have. It's a bit of a vague sort of statement to just pit them
course it
against
is.
each other.
But
And are the werewolves
We're
like,
getting
are they like
theoretical
full
here.
wolves, or are they like man wolves that like stand on 2 feet? And...
man wolves.
Yeah,
right?
I'd probably say
Yeah,
the
they're
man
not-
wolf
I mean,
version.
is it really a werewolf if you turn into a regular wolf?
Well, I've seen both.
Okay.
So
She'd be the expert here on stories and fantasy,
Alright,
right?
alright. I don't know, but I think like just not being able to walk around in the sunlight is like pretty detrimental,
yeah,
right?
Well, at least for survival it certainly is, but in a combat scenario, you'd have to imagine under the ideal conditions for vampires, a fight at night, who would win between these two combatants.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if the werewolf was not an idiot, I mean, you'd get
wait till
your
daylight. And...
yeah, as in like try to hunt them down during the daylight and bring their UV light lamps, right?
So what, they don't even need transformation, they can literally just burn them during the day.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay, so that's just strategic now. This is not even about a fair combat scenario.
Plus, I mean, most people are awake during the day, so I mean, the vampires are like plotting, socializing with regular people, and building their empire, right? While the werewolf, the vampires, they're like, stuck to do stuff during the night.
But the vampires are immortal, so they've got this whole like.
Right, so as long as they can evade trouble, they can
and
sort of stick
vampires
together.
can just turn people, so they could have their own army of vampires.
But so can werewolves, right? They can bite people and turn them into werewolves.
I guess so.
Yeah.
How about
I suppose.
silver? Does silver affect both of them, or just werewolves? Because I've seen both
Yeah,
as
we're
well.
fucking Van Helsing this shit.
Alright, so
I've had a lot of
werewolves
exposure to this.
werewolves are affected by silver, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I mean, a stake to anyone's heart would probably kill anyone. So I mean,
Well, it's the classic finisher for most vampires, as well as holy water and things like that. I think like in a fair given fight scenario, I'd probably still give it to the werewolf, because as much as the vampire does have like more speed and strength, the werewolf has claws, teeth, and they're also faster and stronger as well than an average human.
But does the vampires not have claws?
Do they?
they
No.
might.
I've
might.
seen ones where they do. Also,
Whoa.
the vampire can potentially fly if they can turn into a bat, meaning they can gain a height advantage.
That is true. And then they just
So if nothing
then
else,
they just get a gun
vampires can
and
survive.
shoot the werewolf.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so the vampires are good at evading trouble and surviving, but like
Only at night though.
only no. If this was some kind of like arena battle though, between one or maybe a 5v5 scenario, who would you crown the winner? If the bats are just going to kite above them, you know.
What if it's a cage fight?
Okay,
So
fine.
it's
One
like-
to
So
one.
literally the-
'Cause if
the-
it was a group, I'd give it to the wolves because they have the whole pack thing going on. Whereas the vampires, I feel like, are very solitary. They
Yeah,
wouldn't be
that's
able to
true.
cooperate. Whereas
Hey
wolves
buddy,
would have like.
want to help me out?
In a cage fight though, where obviously the wolf can literally like get around anywhere he wants, I'd definitely give it to the werewolf. I think it.
Also, their muscles are just bigger and more
Yeah.
legit.
I mean, you did say like the vampire could also
I feel like a
have
vampire would
claws and
move
things.
faster.
Yeah,
And they could climb
Maybe.
the cage and like.
maybe. But the
Also,
cage
they
is
can
only
suck
so
the
big.
werewolves' blood,
And then-
right? Is that a thing? Can
then
they
what?
drain their
Then you-
blood?
then
And they
you
get
both.
more powerful.
Just be like Skyrim, just be both of them at the same time. Why not?
A vampire werewolf.
Yeah, why not? And then you'd
Like
probably
in-
beat
what was it,
everyone.
Underworld?
wouldn't
And then you end up with a really skinny werewolf, like a pale, skinny werewolf. It's like, you know, like fusion goes wrong in Dragon Ball Z.
it? yeah,
Just
yeah.
like a skinny, malnourished werewolf.
Hey, but supposedly he'd be faster and stronger and shit like a vampire, and he's immortal now, so awesome. So why not? I don't know. I mean, like, there's so many different interpretations of vampires, and probably not as much for werewolves, but, like, I think if we were just sort of averaging it out, I'd probably give the advantage to the werewolves. Just, you know, in a fair combat scenario, if we're going to be literally as hardcore as we can, yeah, the werewolves go out during the day, muster a whole army of the military army to go and fuck the vampires up in their hideout, and they don't have a chance. But they could at least try and escape during the night.
Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
mean, okay.
Cool.
If not in a combat scenario, I mean, what would you rather be though?
Hands down, vampire. I'm already halfway there.
Oh yeah, that's
I see about 4 hours of daylight,
Yeah.
so. And they're immortal,
Okay.
and
but is it okay?
I
don't know.
I feel more connected with werewolf, like strength and speed in terms of like badassery.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a practical application in reality, the werewolf doesn't really have much going for him. So I'd probably be the vampire and just
What do you
live the
mean?
night.
I mean, like, given our
okay, so
scenario for werewolves,
we're talking about like generally reality here. You know, the real world basically, right?
Yeah.
You can transform into a wolf at will or a werewolf at will.
sure.
You're trying to hide your existence.
Awesome.
You'll be
It's like
hunted
you're either
down.
just a normal person or you get pissed off and basically turn into the Hulk
Yeah.
and destroy everything.
Sounds great.
And
But
then,
as a normal person, do you have extra strength? Because you're a werewolf.
Yeah, in
I like
human
the theory
form.
that you do, not as much
Not
as when
as
you're
much,
a wolf,
yeah,
but
like
still
toned
more
down.
than normal humans.
right,
Yes.
but isn't
That sounds
like
reasonable.
as a vampire you already have extra strength and speed. You just live the nightlife for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
The-
be
the
a
only-
CEO of some huge company and never
Yeah.
leave your tower.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like the only consequence to being a vampire is the morally one, where you have to basically drain people's blood in order to
But
you
you
don't
survive.
necessarily have to kill them.
no, you can just like get a syringe and pull out some blood and just drink it, right?
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Blood
And then I'm
banks.
even more on board with fucking vampires.
Yeah.
Or you just go to a hospital and just get some blood, right?
What if it's a different blood type? Does it matter?
Well, you can figure it
No.
out, right?
I've never seen
I can figure it out, can
You
I?
can figure it out.
I'm a smart
By
guy.
taste.
Mm.
Ugh.
Oh.
A positive. ew.
Can you still eat regular food, or do you have to?
Sure.
live-
Why not? I
No,
mean,
I've seen it
it
where it
probably
like,
just-
tastes like dust or like it just doesn't do anything.
You know, you have to like blood is like literally your only life force, and you can't even really enjoy food anymore. So it's
Yeah.
just
just
like
have a
That's
raw
it's a bit
steak.
of a downer.
I love food.
It's a
but
bit of a downer.
So werewolf. I don't know. I'm
still
keen on
vampire.
werewolves.
I like the immortality and the like strength and speed, and I'm already like
If I was literally like gonna use it in some combat based scenario,
This is
I
not,
would
no, this is like
Just
daily
regular
life.
daily life. Yeah, vampire. Like I wouldn't
Like
choose
the regular-
werewolf in a daily life scenario. I
A
don't.
regular Joe vampire. Yeah.
Also, you can like avoid the sun unless it's like no matter what you have, you're gonna burn. If you can
Yeah.
just cover your skin, and that's like an okay.
Like if you UV light
Sure.
just burns you really badly.
Yeah, she wear like a huge like Marceline hat.
Marceline, yeah.
Even regarding those, if you just lived the nightlife for the rest of your life, you could turn into a bat and fly. That's a pretty cool power as it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not convinced. I mean, if the werewolf is you can retain your intelligence when you transform, you can transform whenever you want.
Yeah.
Right?
You can be a wolf.
Isn't the werewolf just better? Because I mean,
But, like-
you've got the whole time of the all day and all night to
But
do
you're not
what you want.
immortal.
But they
Or
live
are
for
you?
longer though, right?
Okay.
Okay, but
But would
vampires are
you
undead,
really
and
want
so-
to live forever though? Because I don't think I
Well,
would.
vampires can still be killed.
That could be a topic in and of itself in terms of immortality, but I think we're talking about like daily life application. At least the vampire is generally like faster and stronger in just its natural form and can actually socialize, or at least at night.
Yeah, but like the
Whereas, like,
werewolf is just a
Werewolf
regular dude.
Yeah, you can't
Until
really.
you don't want to be, and then you can be a wolf.
Exactly, but then you've lost completely your whole socializing aspect of your ability.
What do
you
you
can't
mean?
really have it in both terms. You can only use it like
Yeah,
for
one or the
combat.
other.
It's like you're gonna freak out the populace when you just go running down the street in wolf
Because the
form.
thing is, you don't have to. I mean,
People are gonna hunt you down, like just
Nah,
for
'cause-
being a danger to society.
yeah, but you're like a regular dude in the meantime, right?
Yeah, but
Same
whenever
as
you
if you're a
transform,
vampire,
Yeah,
just-
but you can't go out in the daylight.
Yeah, but I don't anyway, so...
yeah,
This is my
I can
argument.
literally
In
This is a
terms of
poor argument.
application into my life,
Okay.
I
it
could-
couldn't make that much
Yeah.
of a difference.
I,
I
don't know.
could-
I think you guys are underplaying how awesome it is to be a werewolf.
I think you're underplaying how awesome it is to be a vampire. I'm team vampire all the way.
I'm only team vampire because you specified in a daily life-to-life scenario. If I wasn't going to be using the power in combat or anything else, I
Yeah,
would
because of the
probably-
daily stuff, right? Isn't it just more inconvenient to be a vampire than a
It's
werewolf?
more inconvenient to be a werewolf because you couldn't use your power for anything.
What are you going to use it for?
Well, it's daily life. It's useless.
As a vampire, because you live for ages, you can like slowly establish an empire. Or riches. And...
Even just the one power that you could turn to a bat and fly.
Yeah.
Like I would literally just take that and run as like if in terms of daily application, at least I could get from place to place and not be seen. I'm generally faster. I'd have faster reflexes without needing to transform or like only getting half the power when I'm not transformed. As in like
Yeah, you're
I
at
feel
full
like
power at all
yeah,
times.
yeah, I think I'd enjoy it much more. I mean, as much as I would lose the enjoyment of food, if you can just generally sustain yourself, do you even need to sleep
No.
as a vampire?
Oh, I don't know. I've seen both
Yeah.
again.
You
I
can
think
sleep
you
if you
need
wanted
sleep,
to.
right?
You can sleep if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Surely the werewolf will run out of energy and will have to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like in terms of daily life scenario, you're not exactly going to be fighting or something all the time, then I would probably go with the vampire. If I was literally living in a world where I would be fighting for my life, I would probably go with the werewolf, just because I would probably prefer that style of combat. I don't know.
What is this, a game? What is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the werewolf will just have such a significant advantage running on all fours and being able to just move around quicker, more agile, faster, stronger, more fucking brutal. So like literally like cut
More-
people.
Claws and
More
teeth.
British.
More British. Yes, he's one of my people. So yeah, but yeah, in a day, if I was living in reality, like it's hands down, bro. Like, I don't know how you can even make the comparison. The power of werewolves is kind of useless in a daily life scenario.
Yeah, but you don't need to use all those powers, right? You just
You don't
slightly
need
stronger.
to use all the vampire powers, but you
But the
can.
thing is, you can't even go out in the daylight, which is a huge part of just being normal, like living life, right?
Not
Surely.
necessarily. Not
But is it
necessarily.
like, is it if it's daytime or is it just the sun? Because if it was cloudy,
The
if you lived in
UV.
England, you're set.
Oh god,
Battle on the British Isles, bro.
that sounds
British
horrible
wolf.
though.
Yeah.
So it's
Go out on a rainy day. That's alright.
Lovely day.
I don't know, man. Each to their own, man. Each to their own. Don't freak out over it.
Alright. Fair enough. Anything else to add to that?
I don't know. I think we had a pretty heated debate on this one.
I didn't think we really covered much, but okay.
No.
Alright. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fat Potato Podcast.
It's a bit of a random one.
Pretty random.